My parents had favored my sister all their lives. When I opened my eyes again, I no longer wanted to fight. If my sister wanted my guaranteed college admission spot, I'd let her have it. If she wanted my research project, I'd hand it over. If she even wanted my boyfriend, I'd give him up too. This time, I just wanted to live quietly and learn to love myself. As a human being, I owed no apologies to anyone. Nina. Dad began, his voice trembling slightly under Mom's piercing glare. You know Cindy's health. She can't pull all-nighters like you or grind for college entrance exams. So, could you give her your admission spot? It was phrased as a question but delivered as an order, no hint of remorse. I stared blankly at Dad, his hair not yet gray, my mind still flashing with memories of falling from that rooftop. It took me a moment to realize I'd been reborn. 17 again. Back at the crossroads that could rewrite my life. Mom's expression hardened when I stayed silent. Nina. She snapped. You're smart and capable, unlike Cindy. You will surrender that spot. Whether you want to or not. In my past life, these same words had enraged me. I'd refused to yield what was rightfully mine. Yet in the end, my parents had secretly transferred the admission to Cindy's name. They'd let me drift through months of blissful ignorance until it was too late to even take the exams, shattering my college dreams. When I'd confronted them afterward, they'd shrugged, just retake senior year. What's the big deal? Their casual dismissal condemned me to another year of grueling study. Then at university, when Cindy faced expulsion for failing grades, they demanded I hand over my research project to save her. I refused. They simply wrote another check, pulled more strings. My protests earned me nothing but academic probation. Now I finally understood, what could be stolen was never truly mine. The admission spot, the research project, but my real achievements, the knowledge in my mind. The skills I'd earned, those remained unshakable. Meeting my parents' gazes, I said calmly, "Fine. She can have it." Mom's eyebrows shot up at my compliance. Dad exhaled like he'd shed a mountain's weight. "We're proud of your maturity, Nina," he said, producing a gift, the exact Lego warship set I'd coveted for years. Large enough to fill my entire room. In the model room of my sister Cindy Johnson, I followed my daily routine, attend school, return home, and repeatedly go over the thoroughly memorized study materials. When utterly exhausted, I would sprawl on the floor assembling Lego sets. Often I'd spend entire weekends obsessing over the miniature components. Finally, after 6 months, I completed the massive warship model. Before I could properly admire it, Cindy shattered the creation. Discovering my finished masterpiece, she invited her classmates for an exhibition. Despite her frail health, she strained to carry the colossal structure to the living room, resulting in its catastrophic collapse and leaving her forehead scraped. Tearfully, she apologized, "I'll restore it completely." I nodded in agreement. She began scavenging the fragments, her bare feet getting scratched by the stray pieces and dust coating her clothes. When Mary Johnson saw her eldest daughter in such a disheveled state, she snapped at me, "It's just a toy. Must you make Cindy crawl like a dog? Nina, where's your consideration for her condition?" She conveniently forgot Cindy's voluntary efforts to restore it and my own half-year dedication spent assembling that model. No matter. I'd long abandoned expectations toward Mary. Without hope, there's no disappointment. Turning to my sniffling sister, I stated, "Given your delicate health, let's abandon this." Cindy shook her tousled head. "My responsibility," she quavered guiltily. I snorted. "But when you get hurt, our parents suffer. They'll accuse me of bullying you." "Dear sister, is this assistance or subtle sabotage?" Both females froze. My voice remained calm. This model was never truly mine. I merely took what wasn't offered. How presumptuous to accept Dad's polite gesture. Rest assured, Mother, I'll cultivate better self-awareness. The Johnson women stood petrified, their mouths agape but speechless. I retreated to my desk, put on my headphones, and drowned myself in English pronunciation drills. The mechanical repetitions occupied my mind completely. Legos? I'll purchase my own someday. I performed steadily during the college entrance exams and scored 713. When Mary and Dave saw my results, they suggested I choose the same university as my sister Cindy. Between the lines, they wanted me to help Cindy graduate smoothly. In my past life, I'd rebelled. But resistance was futile. Even though I monitored my application like a hawk. Dave, a senior programmer whose skills far surpassed mine, ultimately altered my choices at the last moment. This time, I had to compromise. What choice did I have when I wasn't strong enough? Dave seemed guilty about my compliance. After I submitted applications matching Cindy's school, he secretly gave me a bank card containing $3,000, specifically telling me not to tell Mary or Cindy. Buy whatever you like, he said. But Dave, having been burned once, I wasn't about to make the same mistake. During freshman year winter break, Cindy had already blown through her travel funds. I changed my bullet train ticket to a hard seat ticket, planning to ride home with her. She refused, detesting the odors and crowds in hard seat carriages, and lied to our parents about staying on campus for a professor's research project to delay her return. My prideful sister Cindy, all ambition, no substance. She wouldn't admit to our parents she'd mismanaged her money, nor would she borrow from classmates to save face. Her false bravado became my curse. After 5 grueling days washing dishes at a diner, Cindy finally earned enough for a bullet train ticket home. But those same 5 days made her miss the peak booking period. On New Year's Eve, she sobbed to our parents over the phone, "The dorm's freezing. The school cut our power and water. I'm scared. I'm so scared." When our parents summoned me for explanations, I told the truth. Dave exploded, slapping me so hard his palm print bloomed across my cheek. Mary stared in shock as he tried to strike me again, only stopping when she physically restrained him. "Why hit Nina?" Mary demanded. Brow furrowed. Dad, David Johnson, spoke up first. "Nina has always been delicate since childhood. Cindy should have known better. Yet she still bought her a standard seat ticket, clearly hoping she wouldn't come back at all. She's your sister. What's the problem buying her a bullet train ticket?" I forced a bitter smile. I only had that much money. If I'd bought Cindy a bullet train ticket, I couldn't have afforded my own return. Dave's voice rose sharply. "I gave you $3,000 for emergencies. How could you be short?" My gaze shifted to Mary Johnson. Her face darkened. When Dave continued berating me, Mary finally intervened. "Nina gave me that $3,000 long ago. She really doesn't have extra funds." Dave's lips pressed into a thin line, clearly shocked. But since the scolding had already happened, he couldn't possibly apologize. He backpedaled weakly. "Even without that $3,000, you could have saved from your monthly allowance. A few hundred for the bullet train ticket. You're just being spiteful. Deliberately keeping your sister away." I silently turned to Mary. She inhaled deeply, speaking softer. "Enough. Nina truly has no extra money." "How?" "Her $250 monthly allowance dash." "No." Mary interrupted. "Nina only gets $50 monthly." "Correct. My allowance had always been $50, both in my past life and current reality. The difference being, this time I'd voluntarily requested it. Before the September semester, I'd given Dad's $3,000 to Mary, suggesting, "Cindy needs more for medical expenses. $50 is enough for me. Please give the rest to her." Mary had been surprised but readily agreed, praising my thoughtfulness. This saved her the trouble of inventing excuses to transfer funds after humiliating me. The $50 bullet train ticket home took me the entire semester to save. Ultimately, only I returned to Cindy's home. This was never my home. Mary avoided eye contact. Dave clenched his jaw. In this family, only outsiders apologize. Smiling at Dave, I said, "Next time, Dad, I'll give Cindy all my money for tickets. After all, Nobody cared if I returned. As I turned to leave, Mary reproached, "Nina, if you'd told us Cindy's situation earlier, this misunderstanding and beating could have been avoided. You brought this on yourself. Don't blame your father, sister, or me." I paused mid-step, my throat constricting, exactly as I'd predicted. But luckily, I was prepared. I turned around and opened my phone, playing the recording from days earlier. My voice echoed clearly to Mom and Dad. "Dad. Mom. Cindy couldn't come home because she couldn't afford train tickets. Not because of any campus project. The holiday tickets are selling out fast. You should buy hers now before they're gone." Their sarcastic comments followed. Mom sneered, "What's wrong with you? Nina? Can't stand seeing your sister succeed? Are you jealous of Cindy's academic opportunities?" Dad added, "Cindy just sent us her train ticket photo. Stop causing trouble and focus on your own studies instead of worrying about getting chosen by professors." They kept interrupting me, maliciously accusing me of ill intentions while praising Cindy. When the recording ended, both David and Mary turned pale, lips trembling without words. They couldn't blame me for Cindy's situation this time. Retreating to my room, I buried myself under blankets. At midnight, suitcase wheels rumbled as they sneaked out. Next morning, Mary's note on the dining table read, "Nina, we're away on urgent business. Take care of yourself." The empty refrigerator mirrored my hollow stomach. They'd clearly gone to Cindy, while homebound tickets were sold out. Schoolbound seats remained available. By dawn, David and Mary surprised Cindy at campus with cake. Captured in her social media post, "Who says cake needs birthday candles? Happy New Year with family." The strawberry cake we both loved this year. I wouldn't get any. But that's fine. Someday I'll buy my own. Sophomore year brought trouble. Cindy faced academic probation from multiple failed courses. The Johnsons rushed to campus, discovering research projects could save her. Ironically, I held such a project. "Your sister needs this to graduate. Nina. You should yield to her," David declared. All previous remorse vanished. Under the seemingly sincere facade, everything was taken for granted. Mom didn't speak, her eyes stripped of any pretense. Ever since I played that recording and exposed their hypocrisy, they'd stopped pretending around me. This was better. No more moral grandstanding from them. And I was no longer the villain. They finally understood. The true cruelty had always been their blatant favoritism toward my sister. Now, their words and actions toward me were brutally direct. For instance, I hadn't received a single call from them in a year, hadn't been home in a year, and my financial support had vanished for a year. When they demanded I hand over my research project to my sister, I simply replied, "Fine. The project is hers." I submitted the completed proposal. They took it and immediately gave it to Cindy. That night, Cindy posted another family photo on social media with the caption, "So grateful for Mom and Dad, I'm the luckiest." "Nina. What's got you glued to your screen? Your eyes are red." Sean plopped down beside me, peering at my scratched phone. "Who's that?" "She's pretty." I sniffled. "My sister. My biological sister." He grinned. "But the photo only shows your parents and her. Were you the one taking the picture?" "No." I shook my head. "They didn't invite me to dinner." He blinked. "You're kidding. Your own parents? Your own sister?" I nodded sharply. "Awkward." He backtracked. "All right. Poor little orphan. Come on. Let me treat you to dinner." He slung an arm around my shoulders. I shrugged him off. "Not hungry." He frowned. "Nina. Seriously? I've chased you for a year. Am I not hot enough? Rich enough? Why won't you give me a chance?" His frustration flared briefly before he dialed back the intensity, leaning closer like a puppy. "Fine. Keep rejecting me. I'll just keep pursuing you until you say yes." He didn't know Cindy yet, that's why his words still dripped with audacity. Sighing, I forwarded him Cindy's contact. "Add my sister. She'll give you a deeper understanding of me." I walked away, leaving him bewildered. By evening, he returned, wrapping me in an embrace. "Let me protect you, Nina," he murmured, voice thick. "Sweet, suffering Nina. Learning your past would never make me love you less. If your family won't cherish you, I will. Always." Cindy, ever the compassionate angel, had undoubtedly spilled every detail, her guilt over me, her concern, her performative pity. Sean's vows echoed like a familiar script. In my past life, these words had intoxicated me. Now, they rang hollow. I knew what came next, the betrayal. Nina Johnson, he would helplessly fall in love with my sister Cynthia Johnson, and then criticize me as completely worthless. All my affection seemed so insignificant compared to the innocent kindness of Cindy. "Sean Chen. Let's make a deal." His starry eyes looked at me with feigned tenderness. "Accompany my sister for 6 months of breakfast dates. If you can last that long, we'll be together." He scoffed, "Shouldn't I be delivering breakfast to you? Why would I bother with your sister? Cindy already has more love than she can handle." I forced a bitter smile, just as confused as he was. It was truly puzzling. How could someone like Cindy, who was already drowning in adoration, still attract wave after wave of new admirers? Sean knew I was someone who kept my promises. Reluctantly, he agreed. When we parted, he threatened, 6 months. After that, you'll be my girlfriend. I nodded calmly, long used to such dramatics. What Sean didn't know was that the moment he added Cindy on WeChat, my sister came running to me. Cindy confessed that she had had a secret crush on Sean for years. She wanted me to give him up. Since childhood, under our parents' pressure, I had given countless things to Cindy. This was the first time she actively begged me to relinquish something. "Fine," I said. "How do you want me to give him up?" The frail girl revealed her premeditated breakfast courtship plan. I carried it out perfectly. In my junior year, I became financially independent. My straight-A record earned me a spot to study abroad. When the Johnson family learned about this, they debated forcing me to transfer the opportunity to Cindy. Cindy herself refused to study overseas. She was determined to spend those 6 months trying to win Sean over. She shared Sean's delusional belief that 6 months could change their romantic destinies. They were a perfect match, meant to be together. While I was preparing my visa documents, Sean confronted me. "Why choose to study abroad? Don't you want to be with me anymore?" I showed him the forwarded chat logs from Cindy without denying anything. "Cindy, Sean. I'm weak and stupid. Completely worthless compared to Nina. It's normal that you don't like me. Let's stop having breakfast together tomorrow. I'll delete your contact." "Sean, that's not true. You're beautiful, gentle, and kind, far from worthless." "Cindy, really? Does this mean I have a tiny place in your heart? Even just a little bit?" "Sean, yes. For messages. A masterclass in flirtatious manipulation. Any rational person could see the intimacy." Yet Sean kept denying it. "You know Cindy is delicate." I just didn't want to upset her. As I stared blankly at his excuses, his eyes reddened with fake anger. "Fine. I shouldn't have cared that she's your sister. I shouldn't have considered her health condition at all." Then, he deleted Cindy Johnson's WeChat right in front of me. Since WeChat is not commonly used in the United States, we can change it to "deleted Cindy's contact information" for better cultural adaptability. So the revised text is, "Then, he deleted Cindy's contact information right in front of me. Realizing she'd been blocked by Sean Chen, Cindy immediately called him on speakerphone. "Sean, did I do something wrong?" "Why would you?" she asked pitifully. Sean glared at me, frustration evident. "Cindy, stop bothering me. I'll never like you. I only love Nina. Nina Johnson." The line filled with Cindy's uncontrollable sobs, her breathing becoming increasingly ragged until we heard a loud thump. Panic flashed across Sean's face. "Stop faking. Answer me." When Cindy remained silent, he turned to me angrily. "Your sister collapsed. Aren't you going to check on her?" I calmly pushed away his hand gripping my collar. If you're so worried, go to her yourself. But our relationship? I smiled. My study abroad doesn't start for months. If you win your little bet with her by then, I'll stay your girlfriend. His eyes darted uncertainly before he sprinted towards Cindy's dorm. At the hospital, Sean clung to Cindy's hand, whispering comforts, I'll never leave. I do care about you. This is all my fault. I observed their reconciliation impassively. When the Johnson family learned their precious Cindy had been hospitalized over the blocked contact, they stormed into campus administration. Without investigating, they accused me of stealing Cindy's boyfriend and demanded I publicly confess to seductive misconduct through campus-wide broadcast. In the principal's office, the administrator sipped tea behind gold-rimmed glasses. Write the apology letter, he said, steam curling from his cup. Broadcast it during morning announcements if you want to keep your overseas study privileges. This marked my third disciplinary meeting here. The first involved scholarship qualifications. The second research project disputes. And now this Sean-related drama. The Johnson family's influence always tilted outcomes in Cindy's favor, leaving me to navigate their carefully constructed narratives yet again. As before, I obediently nodded. After leaving the school administrator's office, I went to the campus computer lab. Overnight, I printed hundreds of copies of my meticulously crafted manifesto. Before dawn broke, these documents plastered every corner of campus, detailing years of systemic abuse by the administration. At 8 a.m. sharp, while students shuffled to morning exercises, study sessions, and cafeteria lines, my recorded voice echoed through the PA system as they read the flyers. Nina Johnson from Computer Science Class 01 of 23 had her postgraduate recommendation stolen. Research achievements hijacked. And now faces expulsion threats for rejecting Sean Chen's advances. Sean, if you love Cindy so much, why chase me? Don't mask your indecency by slandering me as promiscuous. My roommates and classmates all confirm I never encouraged Sean's pursuit. Meanwhile, everyone's seen their kiss photos and flirty messages. Fists pounded the broadcasting room door as enforcers came, but found it barricaded with filing cabinets. My pre-recorded evidence played unimpeded audio of David Johnson and Mary Johnson's coercion, Cindy's gloating, and administrators' threats. Class group chats erupted as my supporters rallied. Nina did nothing wrong. We'll testify for you. Your study abroad spot is secure, we'll sue if they try anything. By midday, campus buzzed with exposés about Cindy's fraudulent scholarships, plagiarized research, and predatory romance tactics. The Johnson family and administrators became social pariahs. My years of silent endurance finally paid off. Investigations toppled multiple administrators. David and Mary faced public reckoning, though insufficient evidence limited their legal consequences to career ruin and financial losses. Cindy's downfall proved absolute. The campus forum that once adored her innocent charm now flooded with venom. Cindy's not some delicate flower, she's a blood-sucking leech. No wonder she looked runway ready while we slaved in lab coats. Pathetic, stealing her own sister's crush. Before discharge papers dried, Cindy's readmission to ER followed the scandal's eruption. When David and Mary came raging to my dorm, our prepared RA barred their entry. Their impotent curses echoed through the quad as I finally breathed free. The insults were too harsh. My roommates grabbed a megaphone to defend me. The noise was so loud it upset the entire girls' dormitory building. Dad and Mom only had 2 mouths between them. How could they possibly outshout thousands of mouths in this building? Someone from some floor, a dorm leader from an unknown room, finally threw a basin of water at David Johnson and Mary Johnson, making them retreat in defeat. My teacher, knowing my situation, proactively applied for early study abroad arrangements on my behalf. Concerned about potential harassment, the teacher personally accompanied me through all the procedures. On the day of my flight overseas, every classmate sent their blessings. Some texted. Some posted on social media. Others wrote cards. Through these messages, I felt genuine camaraderie. Nina Johnson. I always thought your independence meant you looked down on us ordinary folks. Never imagined you carried such burdens no one should bear. But you survived. May your future be boundless. Nina Johnson. All your efforts and endurance will bear fruit. You'll always be my ultimate academic idol. Don't forget us when you return. Nina Johnson. Keep loving yourself. Remember to always love yourself first. I sniffled, experiencing pure friendship for the first time. Closing my phone to the boarding announcements, I pushed my luggage toward the gate only to encounter Sean Chen. His bloodshot eyes betrayed sleepless nights. He slapped me across the face. Satisfied now? Nina? Cynthia's expelled and in the ER. Got everything you wanted? The sting bloomed on my cheek. Your parents wronged you. But what did innocent Cindy ever do? Why punish her? I remained silent, staring at this pathetic jerk, as he tearfully begged our bet isn't over yet. Right? I coldly brushed past him. Let him wallow in contradictions, I'll repay that slap someday. After landing, I went straight for a strawberry cake before unpacking. The sweetness, the freshness, no childhood treat ever tasted this divine. This slice, bought with my own money, carried the flavor of freedom. At the Lego store, I used my scholarship money to buy the newest warship model. When my dorm mates gaped at my purchase, I declared, this is my teenage joy. My way of reclaiming my lost childhood. Neither the cake nor the Lego felt late, they arrived precisely when they should. When I faced them, my heart was filled with immense satisfaction and joy. I achieved everything I desired through my own efforts. Freedom, the very concept I revered, was finally realized at this moment. I no longer had to use Cindy's hand-me-downs. No more surviving on plain steamed buns to save money. No more fearing the sudden loss of things I cherished. After 3 years of studying abroad, I earned my diploma. My outstanding credentials secured me an executive position at a listed company. Riding the wave of technological innovation, I eventually started my own business. When I returned to China 7 years later, I attended a class reunion. My former classmates had married and had children. Some basked in marital bliss while others remained aimless even after divorce. Sean Chen, our classmate, fell into the latter category. He was married with kids yet still relying on family money. He arrived late, disheveled, having lost his youthful charm. Beside him stood Cindy, now significantly heavier. Cindy froze momentarily upon seeing me before exclaiming, Nina. I smiled and responded, yes. It's been a while. You look amazing. What do you do now? She asked, retaining her childlike demeanor despite her physical transformation. As classmates chimed in with compliments, the questions poured forth. Nina's a CEO now, the career woman we all admire. Let's collaborate sometime. Don't overlook our small company. Haha. Are you still single? Any boyfriend? I fielded their curiosity patiently. Throughout the dinner, Sean's gaze never left me. After the meal, Cindy and Sean waited for me at the restaurant entrance. Cindy said, Mom and Dad miss you. Come home. Sean remained silent. 2 days later, I returned with gifts. The moment I opened the door, my parents threw my belongings down the stairs, shouting, we have no daughter. Get out. After what you did, Cindy might forgive you. But we never will. Go die somewhere. Never show your face again. This reaction didn't surprise me. I felt no sadness. My return served one purpose, to make them confront their mistake. The daughter they rejected now arrived in luxury cars, dressed impeccably, addressed as Miss Johnson. Meanwhile, their cherished Cindy remained unaccomplished and naive. They chose wrong, though they'd never admit regret. My mother, leaning out the window, told the whole story. Nina Johnson comforted her parents, Dave and Mary, not to be angry with her anymore. She asked Sean Chen to come out and see her off. Sean walked beside her, his weary face showing caution. Congratulations, Nina. Seeing you doing so well now makes me feel relieved. Relieved? What right did he have to feel relieved about me? I smiled faintly. Well, You and Cindy seem happy too. That's good. His expression darkened as he began to complain. Nina. If you hadn't left back then, maybe we could have stayed together. Cindy's health was fragile. I only agreed to be with her because I didn't want to upset her. She's nothing like you. Too delicate and never listens. All the life pressures fell on me. That's why I never achieved anything. I stared at him. Are you saying Cindy held you back? He pressed his lips together and nodded. If we had been together, we could have been more successful. You know, I used to have excellent grades before being with Cindy ruined everything. What a shame. We can't turn back time. I replied flatly. But he got excited. No. Nina. We still have a chance. I'll divorce Cindy. We could. And what would happen to Cindy after the divorce? What about your 3 children? Cindy only wants to be a housewife. Those kids were her idea. I never even wanted children. Her parents have retirement pensions to support her. We don't need to worry. Is that so? Cindy? You heard everything. Sean froze. Behind him stood Cindy Johnson, quivering with rage. The once fragile woman now charged forward with surprising force for her fuller figure, slapping Sean hard enough to make his head snap sideways. She even managed to grab him by the collar and slam him to the ground. Watching this domestic drama unfold, I swallowed hard and walked away. Cindy's shrill screams followed me, shattering her former gentle image. You pathetic man. Take a good look at yourself. How could Nina Johnson ever be interested in someone like you? She didn't want you back then. And you're still fawning over her now? Disgusting. I tolerated your visits to brothels. But this? I'll beat you into a cripple. You useless leech living off my money, daring to cheat? To divorce me? Listen well, you'll be stuck with me for the rest of your life. A stray dog who married into the Johnson family thinks he can act high and mighty? I'll destroy you. Through my rearview mirror, I watched Sean's face turn bruised and swollen. The lingering resentment from that airport slap years ago finally faded away. I called my assistant to book my return flight. She sounded surprised. President Johnson? I thought you had multiple matters to handle. Resolved already? Everything went surprisingly smoothly. There might be some loose ends, but my presence isn't needed anymore. I gave her the WeChat account I had abandoned years ago and instructed her to cleverly entice Sean. Within 2 weeks of flirtatious messages, he became completely devoted, making empty promises that didn't even count as commitments. To be with me. He filed for divorce and demanded to leave with nothing. When Cindy refused and got her parents to confront him, their argument triggered Dave Johnson's fatal heart attack. The shock left Mary Johnson paralyzed, overwhelmed with taking care of 3 children and her disabled mother. Cindy reluctantly agreed to the divorce. The newly single Sean spent his last dime on a plane ticket to find me, only to discover mid-flight that I had disappeared. He searched everywhere, asked around, but found nothing. Little did he know, I now frequently travel between different countries by plane. In the vast sea of humanity, he remained penniless and physically weak. The chance of us bumping into each other? Probably only in his dreams. Years passed. Cindy Johnson somehow tracked down my number. She told me Sean Chen had died, shot in the head while snatching snacks from a child on foreign streets. Mary Johnson lingered for 2 more years before passing away. Now Cindy could only sell the family house to support her 3 children. Why are you doing this to me? She screamed through tears. But wasn't she the one who brought all this misery upon herself? I never hurt you. Why make me bear all this? Her wails meant nothing to me. She'd enjoyed our parents' favoritism. She'd taken advantage of every opportunity. Even with Sean. She'd never chosen to do the right thing. How dare she play the victim? I blocked her number, completely erasing her from my life. Looking up, I stood at the product launch podium discussing our latest innovation. A reporter asked, Miss Johnson, what drove your success? Anyone special to thank? I smiled. I've met many remarkable people, classmates, friends, mentors. But if I must single out someone? My voice strengthened. Nina. Thank you for never giving up. Thank you for staying resilient. Thank you for learning to cherish yourself. Nina, you'll always be the best version of you. The applause echoed as sunlight glinted off my patent-pending prototype. Somewhere beyond the conference hall windows, migratory geese flew in perfect formation across the autumn sky.